Well, it's another North Rome Monday morning, which means we're getting ready for another North Rome Youth Night. And tonight we unleash this engineering marvel upon our teens. This, my friends, is the plastic bubble. Made up entirely of plastic and duct tape, which, by the way, are the two best friends of any youth pastor, and the ever so important Dollar General box fan. Now, the Dollar General box fan is of extreme importance tonight for two reasons. Number one is we're going to cram about 30 teenagers inside this dome, and about half of those are junior high boys. And if any of you have ever spent any time with junior high boys in confined spaces, you know it's going to get a little funky smelling real fast. So, this works as an air ventilation system where air comes in through this fan, good air, and the bad air goes out that portal, releasing it into the rest of the church. Now, the fan is also important because it keeps this dome inflated. If I were to keep this fan on the low setting, the whole thing would collapse. But if I set it on medium, the whole thing stays inflated. And if I understand this correctly, and I'm no scientist, that's because there's outside air pressure that's pushing in on the dome. But because the inside air pressure is greater than the outside air pressure, the thing stays inflated. The reality is this: in our lives we have all kinds of pressures pushing in against us too. We have the pressures from school and friends and our family and jobs and money and sports and relationships, and all these things kind of pushing against us, and sometimes we wonder if we'll be able to withstand all the pressure, or we just wonder whether this whole thing's going to come collapsing down all around us. But Scripture says this, that the one who is in us is greater than the one who is in the world. Though that we are pressed against and pushed on, we're never crushed. Though we're persecuted and we suffer, we're not abandoned. Though we may be struck down and we may trip and fall, we're never destroyed. Because the one who is in us, here, metaphorically represented by the Dollar General box fan, is greater than the one who is in the world. Now, I'd love to tell each and every one of you that there will be no struggle and that life will go well, but that's just not the case. And in fact, that's exactly the opposite of what Jesus teaches. In fact, Jesus says this, that in this world there will be trouble, but to take heart, because he has overcome the world. In fact, the prophets say this, that we should not be afraid, for God is with us, that we should not be dismayed, for he is our God, and he will strengthen us and he will help us, and that he can be a shelter that we can run to, a shelter that we can trust more than any other man-made shelter you might be able to think of, even one made of duct tape and plastic by a youth pastor. So my prayer for each and every one of you today is this, that as you walk through the struggles and as you go through the difficult times, that you will allow the one who promises to strengthen you and to never abandon you to walk with you and to fill you with his Spirit, that you may be able to withstand all the pressures of the world and the things that come. Hopefully this thing will be able to withstand 30 teens tonight. We'll check back with you in a little while and see how it went. Whoa, this is interesting. I want to lie down in the middle. We got plenty of room. Oh. Hello. So that's the place we're working on. Yo. But you wouldn't tell me. I'm living in a bubble. It does. It's all part of the strategic design. No, keep coming. Amanda's got to get in here too. There's more. There's plenty. Make some more room there, guys.